thanks, Begonia. My name is Marina Varvesi, and this session, there we go, we'll have a look into the ASSIST model and the work we are doing to scale it up and implement the model in 5 European countries, but the idea is then to move on to other countries. It will be hopefully a very interactive discussion, so please do use the chat to let us know your comments, your questions, and I will now leave the floor to Camila for the presentation and introduction of the session. Thank you so much for participating.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Marina. I am Camila Canelas from EcoSurveys, and as Marina told you, we are going to explain you about the ASSIST model and the SWIFT project, which is focused on the scalability of this social innovation. So to start, we would like to make a small dynamic to know a little bit where are you from and which sector are you representing. So I will share my screen, and I don't know if you know Slido. You can access it's like a questionnaire, and you can access either by the QR code or by the link that I will put here on the chat. So, okay. Here, I don't know if you can see the first question. You can write where are you from, so we can know a little bit more about who we are in the room. Okay, we have 2 answers. Okay, well, 3 answers. We have people from Germany, from Spain, from Poland. We can go, if you like, to the next question. Here you can click the sector that you represent. You can select one of the 5 options. Okay, we have a tie between public sector, private sector, NGO, and civil society. This was the, now more private sector. So this was a little dynamic to start the morning, so we can know a little bit the type of entities and people that are in the session. So now, thank you for participating. Then we will do another dynamic with Slido. And now I give the floor to Marina Varvesi, that she will be explaining the ASSIST project. Marina.
Okay, thank you, Camila. The Slido will be on until the end of the session, so at any time you can go there and have a look at it. And as Camila said, we will be using it also after the end to gather inputs. So the idea today is to, in the meantime, I'm trying to open my presentation, and is to show you what we are doing, and starting from what we did within the ASSIST project. So it will, my first presentation will be a first overview of the work carried out within ASSIST, which was an Horizon 2020 project, which ended last July. That was in July 2020. So energy poverty, as we all know, ASSIST was a Pro-Energy 2020 project to tackle energy poverty. So it was actually aiming at creating a model with an holistic approach, as we will see, to tackle energy poverty. So as I was saying, energy poverty is a multidimensional sector, a multidimensional problem, and it cannot be tackled only with an energy approach or a social approach or a health approach, but it actually gathers all these different approaches and has causes and consequences in different aspects of everyday life. So what we realized, what is the concept, the basic concept of ASSIST, is that people facing energy poverty usually face a lot of different problems. And to solve all those different problems, they have to interact with different operators. The social operator for support for financial help or for inclusion or for other social issues, consumer associations to help them with probably the energy contract or not paying the energy bill, so health operators related to their health problems, and so on. What we wanted is to use those figures to build on what is the existing context and to empower all these different operators on the aspects of energy poverty, and to build what we call the House Energy Advisor as a unique contact point for energy poverty. So the ASSIST model is based on empowered operators already working on the ground, so already in contact with people in need, with people facing the different causes of energy poverty, with empowered competences to be able to give them support and assist them with their various different problems. So, as I was mentioned, it is a problem tackling energy poverty based on this figure of the HEA. And the model is then complemented by the network of HEA. That is, the people who, the operators who carried out the course would then be part of a network, a national network, and a European network could then be built as a second step, but the trained HAs would initially be part of a national network. And coming from different working sectors and working experiences, networking activities between the HAs would be a great added value because they would be able to share experiences, share perspectives, share solutions, and support each other with the activity of supporting. In Italy, some of the activities that the trained HAs actually did carry out were carried out together by a social HEA and a technical HEA, and they were carrying out Energy Café. And it was really, really a very significant experience for the participant because they were able to combine the two aspects of energy poverty. So the idea of the network is also the added value of the ASSIST project. Here you can find the two websites, the project website and the Cordis fact sheet, where you can find all the information and all the deliverables, the news of what we actually did on ASSIST. As you can see, the project was carried out in 6 different countries, Belgium, Finland, Poland, Spain, United Kingdom, and Italy, with a very different context related to energy poverty. So that was also very interesting to see how similar models exist and how they can be integrated in other countries. And I would say that this slide summarizes the work done in ASSIST and the model of ASSIST to tackle energy poverty. So the idea, as I was saying, is we have operators coming from different sectors. They are trained. They become household energy advisor. The training was carried out on on web, on Moodle, or in some cases it was blended. It was interesting because it was, I would say, a bottom-up approach. There was no really top-down approach as a project. Each country carried out and defined and carried out its structure, its strategy to train the HEAs and to build the network according to the national context. And so the training was really built according to what was the aim of the national strategy. The trained HEAs would then combine into the network, and the trained HEAs would then deliver an action on the ground, which could have been an help desk support to request financial help, home visits, whatever. But it had to be an action on the ground. And also for the action, it was something built from a top-down approach. As I said, the HEAs were coming from different working contexts, so they were already operating on providing advice. The idea was, let's integrate energy poverty advice within the working experiences, and you tell us how we can support you in integrating the energy poverty aspects. So it was, as I said, something coming from with a top-down, a bottom-up approach. Okay, the idea is that the HEA has to sort of bridge between the network and the people facing energy poverty. The actions could have been of three different types, informing people. So that was mail shots, blogs, websites, or either supporting in a more general way, or the third option was actually to assist people with a one-to-one approach and with the practical and customized support on the ground. And as you can see on the right, I don't know if you can actually read it, but the single circles represent the different working contexts, some of the different working contexts that the HEA can come from. This summarizes the model. Once again, different type of actors, training, networking, and the actions. And what did we realize? Well, the project lasted 3 years. It actually took us from 2017 to 2020 to go through all these steps. The first year was spent to actually analyze what are the national contexts and who are the actors involved to build the training. And then the last year was spent to assist. Of course, we used some questionnaires to collect the data. The data was collected both on energy consumption, but also on more social aspects like the level of comfort at home, the level of vulnerability. And what we found out was that the figure of an HEA, so a person empowered, trained, with also communication skills to discuss and to support energy for people facing different aspects, actually managed to have an impact in different aspects of their life. There was a slight energy consumption reduction. This was measured through the energy consumption data, which was collected by the HEAs. The reduction of energy consumption was not obviously so high because usually people in energy poverty are under-consuming, but there were some cases, sorry for the double D. There were some cases where it was possible to eliminate the waste, energy wastes, or to change energy consumption habits. So it actually had a small impact also on reducing the energy consumption. There was a more significant impact in reducing the energy cost. That was because most people in energy poverty that were assisted by the HEAs had an energy contract which was not really in line with what are their consumption habits and their energy needs. So by analyzing the different offers on the market, it was possible to find a contract more in line with better favorable conditions. And so the switching was able to provide a reduction in energy costs. And then there are two impact indicators, which are definitely more subjective, which we did verify through the questionnaire, but it is based on subjective data, which is an increase of comfort level in the home. People, thanks to the work of the HEA, felt more comfortable. Could have been a psychological effect, but they actually did say that they were feeling more comfortable at home. But it could also have been thanks to the actions of the HEAs and a better energy consumption habits. The last point is very important for social aspects, and it is the fact that the assisted people felt less vulnerable. Having someone to refer to give advice, to ask questions, and to knowing that the answers are not market related, are really something to guide you, to help you, made the people feel less vulnerable. And in some cases, they gave the people the sort of courage. I know it seems strange, but they gave the people the courage to actually switch the contract, the energy contract. So ASSIST actually did approve a successful model. Here are just some figures. The countries, the numbers of HEAs delivering the actions. As you can see, there were not very high numbers. So if we can manage somehow to scale this, it would be fantastic. And our indicators. Here are just some reference, an article published by the ASME on ASSIST, and here are some citations on ASSIST at European level. You can find reference of ASSIST also in other deliverables of energy poverty projects, such as the Empowerment report or other reports. And okay, so I'm reaching the conclusion. We carried out the ASSIST project. It ended in July. It proved successful. It has to be, what do we have to do to actually scale the model? So Marta, the question is for you. What happens now? What are we doing to consolidate it and to really scale it up? So,
thanks, Marina, for your presentation. I think it has been a very good overview of ASSIST project and our experience. I'm going to share also my screen to start with the presentation. Thank you also to Begoña and the UNEP team in organizing this Behave conference, which is being a success the whole 3 days. So yes, Marina has explained you our experience on ASSIST project that has been proved an effective model to tackle energy poverty in Europe. But yeah, it was an H2020 project, so the financing or the project ended. So we realized that we could not be linked to a unique financial resource. So we start thinking how to continue, how to sustain the model within time and after the project implementation. So we start thinking on the scalability and sustainability plan, but then we need some resources also to think and redefine and design this new model. Well, this adapted model after the H2020 project implementation. So then last spring, we discovered the European Social Catalyst Fund, which is an European project too, that tries to bring together public and private resources to improve social services, to enable people who need support to live as valued and participating members of their communities. So they provide resources, financial and also non-financial, also like coaching on scalability procedure in order to scale this social innovation. So we said, okay, this is our fund, our initiative. It's like we did the match. So we start preparing a proposal, and with ICE4 we were thinking which elements were we missing from ASSIST in order to think on a replicability, on a scalability more at an European scale. So we contacted Climate Alliance because they are a network of municipalities. So in this case, we could reach all municipalities in Europe, or a lot of municipalities in Europe, trying to look for these vulnerable people suffering a situation of energy vulnerability, of energy poverty, that needs assistance or need some support while tackling energy poverty situation. And from the other side, we wanted to incorporate also to the model, to the private sector, because we think that it should be like a hybrid model. We need private sector to be involved also in tackling and dealing with energy poverty in Europe. So we designed a project trying to build a scalability plan for the next 2 years. So it's 2024, in 5 different countries in Europe, in Poland, in Romania, in Hungary, in Italy, and in Spain. And this is why we counted also with CAPE, the National Energy Agency in Poland, and University Eva Suba in Romania, to cover all these countries. So we prepared the proposal and we submitted. Around 120 applications were received to the European Social Catalyst Fund from 22 countries with 16 social challenges. But the evaluation committee decided that our SWIT, Scaling Up Innovation Together for Energy Vulnerability project, was one of the 7 selected organizations and consortium that were going to develop plans to scale proven innovation across a range of challenges, in this case, energy poverty. So we are working during these months. In fact, we are working until September in developing this scalability plan in the 5 chosen countries, but also around Europe, because we want this model to be implemented around Europe and adapted in each region, in each country, according to the specificities. Because as you all of you who are in Europe, you know that energy poverty is being tackled different in one country from another, and even in one region to another. I see there are also international attendees here, also from different countries outside Europe, and maybe you have similar situations in your countries where energy poverty is tackled at different levels. So we are working this month on this project, so we are happy to explain you a little bit what are we doing, how are we doing, and how are we working this month in this country. So our objective in SWIT is to design a strategy to scale up a proven social innovation. What we have as an advantage is that we have already tested the ASSIST model. We have already tested ASSIST model, and we know it works. So we know it is effective reducing energy poverty. So it is a matter only to adapt it in different countries and to plan how are we going to work in the coming months and years. So 5 scalability plans are being designed at this moment, adapting to the specific local context. And how are we doing this? So we are working with the territories, we are working with the countries, we are working with the stakeholders in the regions in order to design a realistic scalability plan. So we use the existing evidence from ASSIST. We know the model works, but I mean, we are open to adaptations. We are conducting, once we design a possible scalability plan in each of the countries. We contrast this information with focus groups and interviews with key stakeholders in the countries and also around Europe. We are carrying interviews in all European countries in order to contrast the model and possibilities of scalability. And also we are using the experience of other alternate initiatives and experiences. I see here some colleagues from other European projects, and yeah, we are also looking all the existing initiatives and best practices in energy poverty in order to build the best scalability model. So this is like the three elements of the scalability plan. From one side, the ASSIST experience, the focus groups and interviews in the 5 countries, but also at European level. And this is how are we building and how are we designing and thinking the plan. So in order to scale a social innovation, we need to think on our goals, what to scale, what's our strategy. So in terms of goals, we think we need to build an European common umbrella, a place where all local and regional stakeholders building or working in the model can share and can harmonize some context in terms of the implementation of the model. We want to enforce the national models and reach as many professionals as possible, mainly social operators, but also other agents. As Marina explained, in ASSIST, we tackled and we deal with different professionals, not only from the social side. We need to be clear on what we want to scale. So for the coming 2 months, we want to make or to sustain this national network of trained advisors that we have from ASSIST project. We want to continue training in the new countries and in the existing ASSIST countries, delivering the support. We want to develop a strategy taking into account what has been done in Europe, in different countries. We know we have the technical skills and the knowledge because, I mean, we are quite a big community now tackling energy poverty in Europe, and we've been in contact in many initiatives and projects, not only in SWIT or ASSIST, but I mean, we are in contact in other models. So it's good to ensure this professionality or this capacity to tackle energy poverty from a technical, energetic part of view, but also from the social point of view. We know that we lack this financial part. This is why we are planning a scalability plan. We are thinking on how are we going to join forces with more people, with more stakeholders, and the way we are going to ensure the governance of the model. We need to work on the reputation of an effectiveness. I mean, this is nothing. I mean, this is how a social innovation is scaled. So we just need to transfer and think on how we want to do it on ASSIST and SWIT. Yeah, and we need to ensure physical resources and also to clarify our business model, right? So in general, when talking on barriers for social innovation, and I am sure if you are trying to innovate in a social aspect of energy, you are quite used to these barriers. I mean, you need to deal with the lack of technical capacity if you need it, or the risk aversion of financing structures, or how are you going to manage the team without a confidence in innovation, lack of mixed teams in some cases, or lack of experience in innovation. Sometimes in some regions we are experimenting, and that's happening on ASSIST and also on SWIT, this passivity in society. On energy poverty, there are countries that they still don't recognize energy poverty as a problem or as a social priority. We need to face administrative and bureaucratic barriers, and this is always in all topics, but in energy and energy poverty, this is one interesting barrier to work on. Absence of legal framework. For example, I am based in Spain. I'm working in eco surveys, and in Spain we have a national strategy on energy poverty, but there are other countries in Europe without any strategy or any planification on how to tackle energy poverty. Lack of access of information. This is also a barrier in general when dealing with social innovation, and passivity and low level of stakeholders. As we are working on ASSIST, the main barrier for us, it's not the lack of technical capacity or the management team, because we have already been working together, but the main barrier we are facing is the financing structures, and this is why we are trying to develop a public-private mechanism as a solution. But for that, we need to ensure public actors and private actors to be involved and to feel the project and to feel the model part of their intervention level. So this is why the next presentation is going to be held by my colleague Eva Suba from Climate Alliance, the network of municipalities. She will explain more who they are and what do they do. But I want to ask her, what can be the role of municipalities in fighting energy poverty, and how can this ASSIST model within each suite project be taken up by municipalities? So Eva, the floor is yours. Thank you.
So, good morning, everybody, also from me. I hope you hear me. Say yes or no, but we don't hear you because we are all switched off. So, good morning, everybody, also from me. I'm Eva Suba from Climate Alliance. And I'm here with the Suite project on behalf of Climate Alliance as a post-ASSIST partner, so to say. We have been involved since Suite started. We have not been part of the ASSIST project, but as you see, as a network of municipalities, we are highly interested in implementing or helping to implement the model, because we feel that it has a huge importance, especially post-COVID situations in municipalities. And for that, what we have been doing with ASSIST is we are carrying out several interviews around Europe with municipalities and other stakeholders to see how a public-private partnership or a combination or a public model could work. For that, we have been interviewing several stakeholders in different countries, but we also support the Hungarian Climate Alliance, who are establishing for the first time a potential model to introduce the ASSIST in Hungary, where energy poverty is present, but it has not been tackled in such a planned level like in other countries. And we also support Cluj-Napoca University, Babes-Bolyai, who are also starting their work in checking out how ASSIST could be a potential model in Romania. So what I'm going to do for you in these 15 minutes is I'm going to kind of frame from the public point of view the potential success, I would hope, of a public-private partnership. I'm going to introduce you with the EU framework, but I will mostly focus on how this model, public-private partnership, could work in this field. If it would work, go. Yeah, there you go. So why are we here? Why is Climate Alliance part of the story, and why is actually the soft measure of the ASSIST model in tackling energy poverty so important? That we see also from the interviews we have been doing in April. There's the high expectancy that after the crisis, the pandemic crisis, the rise of energy poverty is almost unavoidable. That is, I think, partly it would be an interesting topic to do research on, but it is definitely the municipality's expectation. So one of the most important things that we think is need to be tackled is energy poverty, and because we know that there are plans, national, European and local recovery plans also for municipalities, this issue could and should be part of these plans, because without every single citizen, and this is what we believe in as well, not only the renovation wave is going to be hard to tackle, but also it will be difficult to change the old system to new system and reach the goal of reducing CO2 emissions around the world. So this is one of the most important things. Obviously, for municipalities or public institutions, one of the key question is what is energy poverty for us, right? Is it something like a standalone problem? This is an issue that in some Western European countries is already tackled and discussed and agreed on, but in other countries it is still a new issue. Is it simply no access to energy? And this is what in Hungary the situation is right now. This is how public authorities perceive this, while in other countries it is much more than just no access to energy. Nevertheless, of course, there are existing frameworks that anchor the idea of what a citizen should be able to reach, and these essential services are illustrated in the European Pillar of Social Rights in Principle 20, but also are established in the UN's Agenda for Sustainable Development. You probably know this much more than I do, in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and this is all endorsed by the EU. So this is why the EU also kind of prescribed, so to say, for countries to include energy poverty in their plans for recovery, but not only recovery. Before the pandemic already, we could see that these issues were already part of the story in 2019, the third energy package, where all member states had to take appropriate measures to establish adequate safeguards to protect vulnerable customers. And following this basic, I would say, legal justification, right now, in the light of the COVID pandemic, there are several possibilities and packages that would support the establishment of different kind of measures to tackle energy poverty, among others, the Clean Energy for All European package, the recommendation on energy poverty that was issued as part of the renovation wave package. This is a very important part. As some researchers, or there's a debate going on, of course, like how do we actually solve the problem of energy poverty? And one of the key answers is, of course, the deep renovation of buildings all around Europe. And for that, there's not only a recommendation, but the European Recovery and Resilience Facility could offer the solution for the financing problems, going back to Marta's main barrier, so to say. So if we have the resources, the question is, for public institutions, of course, what are our responsibilities? And so we believe that the responsibilities is, of course, as we established by the EU and the UN as well, is to provide the essential services to citizens, and from the point of view of the municipalities to my citizens. What are these essential services? Water, sanitation, energy, transport, financial services, digital communications, and health, of course. So where you see energy there, and this is where ASSIST comes to build, comes to the picture. The interesting thing is that the European Social Policy Network did a synthesis report on the national climate and energy action plans of all countries that had to be taken. And it was interesting to see that 23 out of the 27 EU member states and in the UK, there is no official or legal definition of essential services covering all or some of the 6 services. So based on that, the recommendations were formulated on how to tackle this problem. As you see, there are 4 general recommendations, and the 4th one is assistance programs to tackle energy poverty. Why I'm telling you this, we all know that municipalities or public institutions, they work on legal basis, they work on frameworks that need to be backed with policies, and these policies establish the measures that are then taken to tackle a problem. This might take time, but actually this is how it works. So when we think about energy poverty in municipalities, the Covenant of Mayors have adopted a process quite early on, and also did the first step, which, as we saw earlier, agreeing on the essential definitions is highly important in this field. The Covenant of Mayors offers this definition, and that is then the basis to tackle energy poverty with municipalities. Now, why is that important for us? Based on this definition, there's a process that you can take as a municipality. The basic formulation of energy poor households experience inadequate levels of essential energy services might be quite general, but in order to tackle the problem, we need to see why is that. The different reasons, high energy expenditures, low income, inefficient buildings, these are all single reasons that can be dealt with. As Marina also said, this is, however, pretty complex problem. And ASSIST, as a soft measure, does offer the solution to some of these issues. As a municipality, of course, you have to take into consideration the local characteristics and the circumstances of your municipality. And the Covenant of Mayors offers, so to say, a process to guide you through this process to get to the actual measure, in our case, establishing the ASSIST model as a part of the solution. But in order to set this up, and this is what is also happening in Szűd, for example, in Hungary, but also in Poland, as you will hear after my presentation, what we are looking into now is actually the local characteristics and circumstances. And based on that, the idea is that when we set up the policies, for example, as part of the local energy and climate action plans, the measure of ASSIST will be part of the entire solution. At least this is what we hope for. Now, what is this process like? You can create an entire presentations around this process, but I would just like to highlight a couple of things here, and that is, what are the specificities for municipalities when going through this process and dealing with energy poverty? When we talk about target groups, research shows that chronically ill, disabled pensioners or children, families or single households are in the heart of the problem. So municipalities have the tools to assess how to reach these target groups, or NGOs where you can work together with, and this would be the public-private or public NGO partnership model, could do that for you, and you can team up with them. When you consider spatial patterns, where are the poor quality buildings where energy upgrade or retrofitting or deep renovation is needed? Municipalities have this information, or could have this information. This is where assessment and continuous measurement of the situation is so important, not only in terms of energy efficiency, but also in terms of energy poverty. What is, of course, essential for these families is the cost of energy, right? So municipalities could analyze energy carriers and the related costs. What are we using to heat or cool? Is it wood? Is it coal? Is it oil? Is it gas? Is it biomass? And then when you have all this information, you can define the policy measure. In our case, behavior, reducing energy consumption or making energy consumption and more efficient, of course. What is needed? Is it only retrofitting? Is it combined with awareness raising? These are the basic steps that the Covenant of Mayors recommends before you set up the policy, right? There's a whole lot of steps that you can do, and of course, it is recommended to do it all. But when we get to the measures, we arrive to how ASSIST could be of help here. ASSIST doesn't only offer training and communication measures. What we see with ASSIST is that it also offers basically the understanding of energy poverty. This is where you get in touch with the people. This is where the information that you need from the human side gets real. And we see often with municipalities or with policy making, so to say, sometimes reality is not always the basis of decisions. And with energy poverty, it is highly important that reality and the data is the basis of these decisions. The different energy poverty measures that you can set up as a municipality, of course, it is the most important would be to set them all up, because this is how you tackle energy poverty. And one slice of it is where an ASSIST comes into picture. The information and awareness raising is not only happening through training or household visits. It happens in all levels of contact with the families or single household, depending, of course, on the profile. But what we also recommend is, of course, free of charge energy advice and audits, and this is also what ASSIST would offer you. Now, coming into what we found in the last couple of weeks, basically carrying out suit, we have found several initiatives that that actually suit perfectly in the picture, although they haven't used ASSIST yet. But the idea is, of course, to create a network where the experiences are so well exchanged and contribute to what is going on. In Germany, if some of you are Germans, you might know about the Stromsparcheck, which is financed by the National Climate Initiative, and it's a collaboration between energy agencies, Caritas Germany, so an NGO, and municipalities. This is a classic public partnership. It works for over 20 years now. And what is the barrier here? The same as Marta was saying, financing. The National Climate Initiative in Germany is financing such initiatives on the basis of project lifetimes. And what makes Stromspeicher so successful is the continuity and the network character of Caritas and the network character of the energy advisors. What is actually happening with the Stromspeicher is local municipalities and local Caritas organizations work together and with energy agents, well, regional energy agencies and 6 regional energy agencies, and train long-term unemployed people to become service advisors for energy and water saving. This team then visits energy poor households and performs the first energy check, and give support to the families facing energy poverty. They also provide free of charge, this is all free of charge, of course. They also provide advice and a small package of energy saving devices. And for an entire year, they mentor or they support these families. After a year, they do another check and compare their bills. Based on this comparison, they found for many, many years that an energy saving of 10% occurs thanks to this service, which is actually quite a high number. We have to add, though, that part of the story is, of course, not only changing energy consumption behavior, but they check the devices, what are present, potentially change the fridge. So again, finances are important when supporting such an initiative. But it really shows how the combination of energy consumption behavior advisory services, social support, and of course the change of devices can contribute to the energy consumption change. Something similar is the case in Austria, in Vienna, where several entities work together, the city council, the local utility, Wien Energie, Caritas again, and Umweltberatung. This is a collaboration where basically everybody is present. The utility as private, the city council, the Caritas is NGO, and Umweltberatung is a energy efficiency advisory network. Works also in the same way, but it is all embedded in national energy poverty support system. Completely public is in Sweden, the Energy Advisors Network. These are energy advisors sitting in municipalities, organized in a regional basis via also the energy agencies. And this is all part of the entire social net of Sweden, financed also by public money. So it's a completely public format. These are, of course, wonderful examples of existing initiatives. Now, how this could actually work, or how is this working in countries like Poland, Central Eastern Europe, and this is where SUIT is focusing on. And Anna will tell you about this.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me and see me. Also, I would like to share my screen. I'm not sure if we should change with Silvia, because I thought that she would like to also tell us something more about private sector. Silvia, are you with us?
Good morning. Well, I'm going to share my screen. Just 1 second. Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank you, the organizers of the The Hague conference, for giving us the opportunity to talk about the SWIT project. My name is Silvia, and I work as an innovation manager at the Catalan Energy Cluster. In this section of the presentation, I will explain the role of private actors in the SWIT project and as well the role of the cluster. Well, as I was saying, I will explain a little bit what the Catalan Energy Cluster is and what we do, so you can know us a little bit more, and then I will explain the role of private actors in this project. So, the Catalan Energy Cluster is a non-profit business organization whose aim is promoting energy efficiency through the collaboration between companies and public institutions. We are currently about 170 members between private companies and institutions. And in order to achieve our goal of promoting energy efficiency, we work in the following strategic areas that you can see in the screen, which are sustainable mobility, energy efficiency in industry, energy efficiency in buildings, renewable energies, digitalization of energy, and smart grids. Our areas are aligned with the European Green Deal. So how do we develop these areas? We do it through networking, since our aim is promoting energy efficiency through the collaboration between companies and organizations. We organize a lot of networking events in order to promote synergies and collaboration between companies or between companies and institutions. And we also do it through innovation, which is what I'm mainly working on. So we promote and participate in collaborative projects like the SWIT project, which is one of them, but we also do other projects that are regional, national, European, or international projects. And we also do institutional relations. So we have contact with the public administration, and we take part of events. We inform the members of the cluster of the new regulations in energy. We act as expertise in energy efficiency, and we try to influence policies that are in favor of energy efficiency. And we also do communication and positioning, and which means that we give visibility to what our members work on or what they do, and what we as a cluster work, and have presence in media promoting energy efficiency. So what is the role of the cluster in the SWIT project? We are part of this project because EcoSurveys is a member of the cluster, and we think that we cannot separate working on energy efficiency with working towards tackling energy poverty. We think that the social aspect of energy is a fundamental part of energy efficiency, with all the positive consequences that this entails. So our role in this project is basically act as a contact point between the project partners and private actors, which we have contact with as being member of the cluster, and because we are a cluster basically. In Italy, Poland, Hungary, and Romania, we have put them in contact with other clusters in their countries with work in a similar sector in energy and energy efficiency. And these clusters are part of the European Cluster Collaboration Program, which we are also part of, and that's why we have some kind of contact with them. And more concretely in Spain, we have acted as a contact between EcoSurveys and the members of the cluster. After having done an analysis of the companies that could be interested in participating in the project, we have approached them and we have invited them to participate in focus groups and interviews. And we are helping organizing those sessions, providing guidance on how to approach private companies and what to ask them. So these focus groups and interviews are done between companies and institutions that have shown interest in the project. And the goal is to take information from them in order to analyze the best way to scale up the existing model involving the private sector. and open a discussion between the different stakeholders about the best way to conduct this public-private partnership. These focus groups and interviews haven't taken place yet, so we still don't have any results yet, but we are planning to start them next week, so I cannot show you any of these results. But the companies that have been shown interest so far in taking part of these sessions are companies working on facility management, power distribution companies, companies working on energy efficiency in buildings and construction, the Chamber of Commerce, Association of Employers, public institutions, and the public services. So what is the role of private actors in the SWIT project? First of all, what we would like is in these focus groups and interviews that we are organizing, we intend to ask the private actors their opinion on how to scale up the model and use their ideas and experience maybe in previous projects in order to conduct a study on how to scale up this project and this model, and how to involve the private sector. And it would be also really good if they could provide funding to the model or training or any kind of non-financial support. But as I mentioned, these focus groups and interviews haven't taken place, so we cannot show any results from that. But what we think that the added value that private actors can provide or gain from the SWIT project are the following that I show in this slide. So we think that the SWIT project can be a mechanism for private actors to achieve their goals of social corporative responsibility. We also think that it can be a mechanism for their visibility and recognition in terms of branding. If they participate in social projects, is always good for their visibility. We also think that private actors can provide stability to the project, financial and non-financial, in terms of agility, economic resources, innovation and technology. It's also a way for companies to give back to society. It also promotes social progress, which also benefits companies and the society as a whole. And it gives private actors contact with the public administration to build a relationship for future projects and contracts. And it means an alignment with common goals in a public-private partnership, because it's always good to aim towards common goals. And it can also be an added value in terms of training, of technical training. It can go both ways. Private actors can provide technical training to the SWIT project, or their employees can receive training for this project. In the Catalan energy cluster, we have a couple of examples of success stories in public-private partnerships. You can see the names of some of the projects and the partners in the slide of the presentation, which are Edificat project, which is still in process, and Mari project and Sabadell Smart City, and hopefully the SWIT project can be one of these projects that are a success story. And well, that's it. Thank you for inviting us to take part of the conference. We will continue working with the rest of the partners of the project, and we hope to obtain good results. The Catalan Energy Cluster is always open to collaborate in other projects, so I leave my contact details in case you want to contact us. And now I pass the word to Anna from CAPE that was speaking before, and she will explain you more about this private-public partnership.
Hello, everyone. Today I would like to tell you something more about a mixed public-private model for the take of ASSIST model. My first slides of my presentation will be something like summarizing everything what Eva and Silvia said. Because firstly, I would like to tell you about problems which we have during the ASSIST project and some solutions. Firstly, I would like to say that the biggest problem in tackling energy poverty is to identify and reach energy poor people. Currently in Poland, there is no definition of energy poverty. We just have definition of vulnerable consumers, but it's a problem for everyone who would like to assist energy poor people. Usually, welfare system, which is public, works on social issues only, and there is no time for additional issues. There is also a problem of payment for household energy advisors and any other advisors who would like to assist energy poor people. Another problem is problem with reaching energy poor people who exactly are not economically poor, and then I will tell you something more about it, what the situation is in Poland. And the next problem is that the private sector in many cases don't see benefits from tackling energy poverty, but they should see, and I will give you also some examples which we found. We can say also that public bodies have the best knowledge about situation of citizens. They know the best the situation of energy poverty. So they are the best group of people who could assist energy poor people. Another solution is also that the cooperation between public and private sector could bring additional benefits in tackling energy poverty, but in many cases, private sector doesn't see all of these benefits. The last one, which I would like to tell you in this short summarizing, is that tackling energy poverty could be one of the aims or of the issues of collective actions like energy clusters, which we see which, for example, Silvia described in her presentation. ASSIST project in Poland started in 2017, like Marina said, and it was conducted by two organizations, Federacja Konsumentów and KAPE, which I represent. Energy poverty in Poland is quite a big problem. Like I said, we don't have any definition of energy poverty, and everyone who would like to help people who are energy poor or they are in risk of energy poor poverty, they just need to be, for example, subjective and decide on their own who really needs this help. There are some analyses that said that it is that in Poland the problem of energy poverty currently affects about 12% of society. It means that there are more than 4 million people who live in more than 1 million households, which really needs some assist, some help to not to be energy poor anymore. There are three main problems of energy poverty. First one is low income. About 60% of people in Poland are energy poor, and who are energy poor are also economically poor. The second one is a high cost of energy. All of prediction says that there is still a big increase of energy prices. Last year, it was about more than 1 time bigger energy prices, and all of the predictions said that next year the problem will be bigger. And the last problem of energy poverty in Poland is low energy efficiency. Most of people who are energy poor live in old detached house, usually from the 30 years of 19th century. And all of these houses should be renovated. Some of them need some thermal modernization, but in many cases, the one option is demolition. So this is very big problem. ASSIST in Poland focused on 4 areas. First was in-depth analysis. We made more than 200 surveys in city of Warsaw, together with the welfare system of Warsaw City. That's why we know what is the problem and where is the biggest problem. Then the second part of ASSIST project was training of household energy advisors. We made 5 courses for 5 different types of HEAs. Most of them came from public sector. We can say that we trained workers from welfare system, from energy advisors, from regional funds for environmental protection and water management. Then the next group was eco-managers in Małopolska region. This is a group of workers of municipalities who were also trained in another project called Małopolska IP program, Life IP Małopolska project. The fourth group was advisors from Federacja Konsumentów branches. And the last one was 5 workers of Gdynia city. So from these 5 groups, we trained together 160 HEAs. And we know that 53 of them are really active and they work for energy poor people. They assist them still. So there are some photos about our trainings. You can see how it was look like. Another part of ASSIST was HEA network. It was a very difficult one. We prepared something. We prepared a tool, but a lot of HEAs didn't want to use it, and I hope that during this week project we could focus on this part, because we feel that this is important tool which can bring a lot of knowledge and experience to all of the HEAs. And the last part of our actions was ASSIST action. Our HEAs, which we trained during the ASSIST project, reached 2,330 consumers through the soft actions. This soft actions was focused on some phone calls, some help desk, but they didn't finish with a survey which could help us monitor the ASSIST project and the influence of the ASSIST project. But all of the HEAs made also another actions which finished with the surveys summarizing our actions, and HEAs reached 1,875 consumers. We estimated that it helps in saving 621,000 of kilowatt hours of energy saving only in Poland. There were different actions, different ways of reaching vulnerable consumers. In the slide, you can see some photos from our HEAs. They try to be visible and well known. So they always also they was sitting in their offices and waiting. They were waiting for the consumers, but also they have been meeting with people on every possible occasion. For example, they made some lessons in schools. They organize some community meetings and any other local events, family picnics, and they wear them and they try to catch all of the consumers who need help and try to assist them. Besides the actions focused on behavioral changes, energy poor people needs also some funds for example, thermal modernization. Like I said, a lot of them live in old detached house. So one of the action was also helping them to get funds. One of the example could be ongoing program which is in Poland called Stop Smoke. The program predicted that it should be exchanged heating sources and made the thermal modernization in 300 buildings in 3 years. For example, one of the examples could be Skawina, where 17 houses took part in the program, and there are photos from the Skawina and from one of the building which was in the program. And this is a quite good part of this collaboration, private and public sector, because we know that some of the HEAs in Małopolska region work together with some companies, local companies, for example, which distributes or produce heating sources, and they by making some actions together, they can help energy poor people. So this is one of good practice which I can tell you about. This was everything what we made in the ASSIST project. But now there is a sweet project, and I would like to tell you something about Polish scalability plan. This is very short slide about this. First of all, we would like to find another group of advisors, for example, new eco managers, or another group of energy workers in another municipalities in Poland. Then we would like to strengthen the position of social workers and improve their knowledge in energy field. We would like also reach the neighbor region to Małopolska because another regions in Poland also have very big problems with air pollution, and they are doing a lot of work on that. So working with energy poor people could help them in this. Our aim is to double the ASSIST results. We knew that we can reach 75 new HEAs. We can work on regional and national level. And we know from HEAs which we cooperated with during the ASSIST project, then that it is possible to reach 20 people per HEA in the year. We would like also scale training and support, which we made during the ASSIST project. We've got tools like Moodle platform and resources for the advisors, so we can use it and help a new advisors who would like to assist project and ASSIST model. And like I said before, we would like also work on the national network of trained advisors. This is everything from me, but I know that now Camila would like to say more about scalability plans in other countries. So thank you very much. And Camila, you can go on.
Thank you, Anna. Okay, then I will share my screen. Okay, then as for the scalability plans, as Marta explained at the beginning on the suite project, we have 5 different countries with different contexts. Then different scalability strategies will be followed. Each country will have their specific objectives, but they are all be taken as a basis, the ASSIST model. Now we are working on the ideation of these plans, which will be further validated by the interviews and focus groups which are being conducted in the different countries with key stakeholders. As for the Italian scalability plan, the main idea is to take up the whole ASSIST model, the training, the networking, the action that Marina explained you at the beginning of the session, and they are trying to insert this ASSIST model into the CCAPs in Italy with a ready-to-use model. This way, they have the intention to double the number of the trained home energy advisors. That will be by training between 75 and 100 new energy advisors, home energy advisors, and they are expecting to have a national scope. Each of the home energy advisors will be attending between 10 and 20 people. So the Italian Scalability Plan also tries to build an Italian network for which ISFER will be the responsible entity, and they are trying to go beyond by building a website. It's the intention to have a sort of an Italian energy poverty hub where they will be able to disseminate both the national and the European networks. To continue, as for the Spanish Scalability Plan, the idea is to take the ASSIST model regarding all the resources and tools and the training program. But in the case of Spain, we are going to have more of a regional scope on the Catalonian region. And the idea is to train about 100 new home energy advisors. But in the case of Spain, the idea is to do this by creating an energy advice and support office for the people using the SAT, which is the home care services, and the telecare services in the Barcelona region. By training these social workers, the idea is to provide them the necessary tools so they can identify situations of vulnerability or energy poverty, and through the platform refer these cases to specialized services, or in case of municipalities of counties that do not have these services, attend and manage these situations. Then for the Hungarian Scalability Plan, it's a little bit different since Hungary was not part of the ASSIST project. So the main objective is to make the topic of energy poverty better known in Hungary, and to introduce and promote the ASSIST model from the basis, let's say. And nevertheless, they are having a national scope with the main objective of training one advisor per district, taking into consideration that Hungary has around 175 districts, and each of these advisors will be able to reach around 10 and 15 people. So Hungary wants to scale the ASSIST training and mentoring network, and they also would like to build a network of interested players that are dealing already with vulnerability, and give them the necessary tools to identify and manage energy poverty situations. This is a quick overview, and as I told you at the beginning, each country will be following different methodologies. We have the possibility of having private-public models, of contacting the already existing networks in the case of Italy, and adopting the ASSIST tools and methodologies, looking for financial support to secure the financial means, which is the main of the barriers, defining harmonized action protocols, and so on. This is a quick overview of how the scalability plans are working. In the case of Romania, it will be really similar to Hungary, but we're still working on it, so I cannot present something more solid. And as we told you, we are planning to have a small dynamic again, that we are going to use the gated Slido platform. As I told you before, you can access. Oh, if you have any question first before starting the Slido dynamic, I don't know if anyone has some question regarding the model, or I don't know, something you want to know that we haven't talked enough, or anything. Okay, so if there are no questions, I will share again the link for the Slido platform. You can also use your mobile phone by putting to the QR code. So the first question is if you know any existing similar models on energy poverty in your country. You can just write it here or talk about it if you want to. Okay, we have the Rappel network in France, energy advice information points. I don't know if you have more, if you know more similar models. Okay, Rappel network in France. Food poverty groups, energy hardship forum. Okay, thank you for the people participating. As we don't have much time, maybe we can go to the next question. Okay. Which do you think the biggest barriers for such a network are? Here you can also write your answer and it will appear in the screen. Financial barriers, reaching the hard to reach, working in silos. Okay, I don't know if anyone can think of more barriers, lack of resources. A lot of other work, no time, continuous financing, missing policy, that's an important issue also in many countries. Not being a preference. Lack of horizontal networking. Okay. Okay, thank you for the barriers that you have identified. We've along the of the ASSIST project, we have faced many of these barriers also. And now for the last question that we have here prepared in the Slido, we would like to ask you, how do you think the model that we presented you can be better sustained by the public sector, private, the public-private, or more of a public NGO collaboration? Okay, it's clear that it must be a collaboration. It will be better. Okay, I don't know if anyone has a thought on this and wants to comment why they have chosen a certain option. Okay, no comments. Well, I think this is almost everything. This was our presentation on the ASSIST model and the on the sweet project that we're working on. We are really glad to have you all here. We are really happy for having this opportunity to share our projects with you, and we would like to share also, we are, as Eva and Marta told you, we are preparing a survey at European level to validate the whole idea of a European network. So I leave you the link here through the chat. So if you feel like and you would like to give your idea, your opinion on our model and help us building it, please feel free to access the survey and give your answer. It is completely anonymous, so wait, now I share it now, I think. So we were really happy to be here. I don't know if anyone wants to say something else. That will be all for my side.
Okay, thank you for attending. Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
And let's
Thank
keep in
you.
touch. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.